Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through everything we currently know about the second act of Schoolboy Runaway, officially titled Schoolboy Outdoors. We'll take a deep dive into the new gameplay mechanics, the expanded world, the characters you'll interact with, the minigames, the endings, and many other surprising features the developer has confirmed. After that, I'll explain why the developer decided to delay the game's release on Steam until 2026, what exactly caused the postponement, and when we can realistically expect the long-awaited second act of Schoolboy Runaway to finally come out. So, make yourself comfortable, there's a lot of interesting information ahead. Overview of the second act. The second act, Schoolboy Outdoors, is shaping up to be a significantly larger and more ambitious project compared to the first part. According to the developer, players should expect major improvements in gameplay variety, more freedom, and a noticeably expanded world. Some of the central new elements include football mechanics, various new mini-games, a drivable car, and deeper interactions with Andrew's friends Igor and Vika, who will finally play active roles in the story. The developer emphasized that the new act is designed to feel less linear and more sandbox-oriented, giving players much more room to explore, experiment, and influence the game's progression and endings. A world that loops. The endless map. One of the most intriguing ideas confirmed for Schoolboy Outdoors is the concept of an endless map. The developer explained that the world will technically be circular, meaning that you keep driving in the same direction, you'll eventually loop back around to where you started. This turns the map into a miniature spherical world, almost like a tiny planet. Not only is this a creative way to avoid invisible walls, it also adds a surreal and atmospheric element to the world, encouraging exploration and making the environment feel more alive and mysterious. Major changes to the village. The village where Andrew lives is undergoing a complete redesign. Many houses will receive new textures, some buildings will be relocated, and the overall map will be expanded. This new layout is meant to give players more places to visit, more secrets to uncover, and more dynamic areas where side quests and events can take place. The redesigned village should feel significantly bigger, more detailed, and more immersive than the one seen in the first act. New football field and sports features. Football will play an unexpectedly important role in the second act. A proper football field will be added to the village, and players will likely encounter minigames or story events involving football challenges. The idea is not just to add a sports feature, but also to give players a fun and optional way to interact with characters like Igor, who may request tasks related to football, such as inflating the ball, retrieving equipment, or participating in short competitions. The car, freedom, and danger. One of the biggest additions is the ability for Andrew to drive a car. Players will have complete freedom to drive around the map, explore obscure locations, and engage in various car-related minigames, obstacle courses, and challenges. But the driving feature also introduces risk. The developer hinted that a car crash may lead to one of the bad endings in the game. This means that driving won't just be a fun mechanic, it will also be tied to narrative consequences, and players will need to be careful not to make reckless decisions. Characters: Igor, Vika, and new NPCs. Unlike the first act, Igor and Vika will now become fully active characters with their own dialogues, quests, and interactions. The relationship between Andrew and his friends will play a bigger role, potentially influencing some of the endings depending on how well you help them or respond to their needs. The game will also introduce new neighbors and other villagers. Andrew can talk to them, interact with them, help them with tasks, or conversely, cause them trouble. These interactions will open up new side quests and possibly hidden routes or endings. The mysterious fisherman. One of the most memorable characters from the first act, the creepy fisherman by the lake, will finally become active in the second act. According to the developer, he will act almost like a stalker or potential kidnapper. Under certain conditions, he may capture Andrew, forcing the player into a tense situation where they must figure out how to escape. This adds a layer of suspense and horror, introducing danger that depends entirely on the player's actions. Achievements and rewards. Another major improvement is the addition of achievements. Players will be able to unlock rewards for completing different endings, performing optional tasks for characters, or succeeding in the new minigames, including those involving the car. This system will encourage exploration and replayability, making it worthwhile to try every route and experiment with different choices. New objectives and interactions. The second act will include numerous small tasks and optional missions, for example, helping Igor by inflating a football for him, buying ice cream for Vika, bringing Vika flowers, which may hint at the possibility of developing a romantic subplot. These simple but charming interactions are intended to make the world feel more alive and give Andrew deeper connections with the people around him. Gameplay mechanics and minigames. The game will feature a variety of new mechanics, such as driving the car freely around the village, participating in obstacle courses and ramps, completing small challenges for rewards, interacting with multiple characters simultaneously. The developer is also working on a large selection of music tracks that players will be able to switch between while driving. This adds a personal flavor to the driving experience and makes it more immersive during long exploration sessions. Time of day. Based on the developer's hints, the second act will mostly take place during the afternoon and evening hours. This gives the game a warm yet slightly eerie atmosphere, fitting well with the mixture of friendly interactions and mysterious dangers, especially with characters like the fisherman. Endings, good and bad. The second act will feature multiple endings, both good and bad. The confirmed bad ending involves crashing the car, but there are likely several more depending on how the player interacts with Igor, Vika, the neighbors, and other characters. Good endings will probably require solving tasks, maintaining relationships, and avoiding dangerous encounters around the village. Development status and workload. Overall, Schoolboy Outdoors promises to be a much richer and more varied experience than the first act. The expanded world, new mechanics, interactive characters, and drivable car create a far deeper gameplay experience. However, the developer is working alone, with almost no help from others, and the second act is still in heavy development. Some details may change before release, but the current direction already shows enormous potential. Why the release was delayed to 2026. Originally, the second act of Schoolboy Runaway was planned for late 2025. However, just last week, the developer officially changed the Steam release date to 2026. The reason for this delay is surprisingly simple. Not enough people added the game to their Steam wishlist. The developer decided to postpone the release until the wishlist count grows higher, hoping that more interest will help the game succeed upon launch. So, if you haven't added it yet, do it. This will genuinely speed up the release of Schoolboy Outdoors. As for a more precise release date, nothing is confirmed yet. But if wishlist activity increases significantly, there is a chance that the second act may be released in the early months of 2026. What to expect on my channel. Once the game is released, you'll be able to find a complete walkthrough of Schoolboy Outdoors on my channel. I will show all the endings, all the character interactions, every secret and hidden detail, guides for every minigame, all dialogue options, and multiple routes and ways to complete the story. Basically, I will cover everything the game has to offer. So, if you want full coverage of the second act, stay tuned.